Welcome to Fashion Tech Friday. If you're new here, I'm Sonthia Coleman with Curated by Sonthia. Welcome. This is a new series that I'm testing out on Fridays. So usually I would go live on Substack on Thursdays. I'm sorry, Tuesdays. But my schedule's jam packed. I just emailed myself my new schedule. So I wanted to inform my Substack community what I have going on. Actually, you know what? This computer about to go dead. I'm gonna I'm gonna wait. Girl, let's get on some Wi-Fi. One thing about sitting outside, I'm gonna look up some tech accessories because I like to be remote. And it's happening. Yeah, are we having technical difficulties? Let's get connected to some Wi-Fi right fast. Yeah, I'm looking up a backup battery. Like if I want to charge my laptops, and I want to be able to charge one device to put it on there. I'm gonna have to look up that. So I hope you guys are well. Here we go. Here we go. I just emailed my new itinerary to myself. Let me just pull it up my hair because I'm gonna just work it till it dies. Tis what it is. Let's push this back. It feels so good to be outside when you work in a building. Child, I'm that used to it. All right, let me go to my schedule. Okay. If you guys don't know, I have a stand store. I want to say it's linked in the bio, but don't make me lie. It should be. And if you don't know, I'm Sadia. I'm a fashion technologist based in New Orleans. New Orleans. Um, I'm working with another AI agent with my Stanley store. And so they offered this to me because I was recently in a challenge. So I thought that was freaking cool. And so it's Stanley the coach. So I have Stanley the coach here. And it says, "Welcome, Satya. I'm Stanley, your creator coach." Okay. I'm bringing, I see you're bringing 25 years of fashion tech and marketing expertise to the creator space. This is incredible depth between your AI implementation work at the Maven Tech Group, your Substack writing, and what you're calling yourself a vibe coder. Love that. This is powered by OpenAI. Um, you're such a unique blend of technical and creative perspectives. True. It says you with 631 followers and 981 posts. So this was linked to my Instagram. And so I've been on the internet for a while. I have several Instagrams. My family always tell me about it. But I wanted to link my fashion ones. If you guys don't know, I had a fashion agency, still do. It's called the Fashion Brand Guru. And we're transitioning as a second wing of that is the Maven Tech Group. And so as we're merging into the fashion tech space, it is a pretty much to me a little bit of a niche. The Fashionista just wrote an article featuring fashion data and a data scientist. And she was talking about they renamed the company. I remember the old name. They renamed the company. Basically, they take data from Fashion Week. So they go to like New York Fashion Week, and they're like, you have to scan all these codes and sit in your seat and all the things. When I went to New York Fashion Week, it was very much digitized, but this was 2019. So the data has risen as far as like using technology to get data to see where people are going to what shows, with seat assignments, if there is some parties, prep events, press, influencers. They're getting data from like who brought you here? Oh, Sephora, or who's the sponsor for this particular show? And these shows are being sprinkled all over New York. So they're able to collect this data to see who's going to the shows because back in my days, It was all about the editors and the people in the industry buying the clothes. The stores had precedents, but now it's the influencers, it's the social media teams, it's those type of different brands, tech brands, merging partnerships, beauty brands, that have phased out, that has more precedence than the magazines, if you will, in some instances, because everything is what digitized. So I'm using my main Instagram because I'm okay with Instagram looking like a functioning portfolio landing page to draw people to my Stand store. So I'm redoing my Stand store. If you guys want to check it out, check in the bio. But it's stand.store. Maven is spelled MVN, Creators Club. And it has on there like my community, my uh, webinar, um, webinar entry fee. It has my digital merchandising kit, digital merchandising. Well, it's not really a kit. I guess you could say digital merchandising toolkit rather. And so I wanted to ask Stanster, how can I really elevate this? Right? I've had small trickle of sales, but I want to elevate this because this is new for me. I've had every website. I've had Wix. I've had Weebly, and I've paid for people to do my websites. Like I've had professional portfolios. I've had where you like only people who only retail clients at the time only deal with corporate companies. They would go in and have a password protected view. They can see the brands I've worked for. I can. The fashion industry was very hush hush. Okay, I if you check out my podcast, the Fashion Maven podcast is still on Apple Podcasts. There are people, and shout out to this particular episode. It's with Trend Maison. If you go to that episode, Trend Maison, and I'm gonna get her back in the hot seat, but she is killing it right now. Shout out to Trend Maison. Her real name is now it's being publicized. But when I did that interview with her, she is now part of the trend team at WGSN. She could not publicly state where she was working. She was freelance at the time. We both were. Shout out to her. She knows like Sonthia is my day one. All the way in New Orleans from London. Like she's my day one. But you know, things have just changed so much. So fashion was very hush hush. And it's crazy because shout out to Geraldine Ware, my mentor. She's still my mentor. She worked at WGSN. She owns Trent Atelier and she just got her certification and she does a lot of mythology work. She's all about visionary and futurism and sustainability. And so what I decided to do was to take my knowledge and merge it together and just start this fashion technologist movement for myself. I just turned 40. So, we're elevating my career and where I want to take the vision. And so the fashion tech component of the fashion is for me propelling into fashion sustainability and bringing back certain things like mending, repair, recycle, quilt work, patching, just different ways of being creative, upcycling, reselling, just like giving the tools to the younger people and I'm talking about younger, not people who are reselling now, but the younger folks of like how this actually started and began and how this can create a ecosystem of new careers for people because now we need plumbers and mechanics and people who actually know how to deal with their hands and problem solve. And the fashion industry is now more of an open book than it ever was, being transparent about, supply chain management and what's happening behind the scenes. So the series here was behind the dashboard, was created behind that. Behind the dashboard, there's so much that goes on in the mechanics of the industry, but not just fashion. There's something even more trickling that led me to this path. And so shout out to Liz Beckelar. She was my mentor in my head because Liz was so up. Liz, um, woman of color, and I'm gonna say she coined the term of fashion technology back in my days when I graduated from college. 20 companies. She's brought the tech and the fashion world together globally. And I just remember thinking in my head, I want to go to that conference. Like after I graduate, in fashion, business fashion, I want to definitely go and be at this conference. This was my jam. It was like fashion and business and marketing and all these mechanics and all international business. All these things just made me excited. And also been coming from an entrepreneurial family. So I feel like now this has revolutionized where these worlds are merged together. We're having articles, we're having people come out, talk about data. Well, Liz Beckelar was working for a beauty company. She worked for Estee Lauder, I believe. She was consulting them on a lot of um, and artificial intelligence, business things. So I want to say she was leading the department, and she posted a job. I've been following this woman for almost like 15 years. She posted a job, and I was like, I'm gonna apply. Sure enough, I can talk about it now. It was with Under Armour. Hence, now she works with Under Armour. I went from fashion marketing executive to interviewing as a data scientist. Like, literally just blew my mind. And also watching someone who coined the term of fashion technology refer me. I was like, "Oh, shit. I have to do something with this." So that's what sorry, that was initially started this whole merger. And I did thank her for it. I didn't get the job, hence, but I made great connections. The head data scientist, he was very impressed with me. I had taught myself uh, a little bit of SQL. I dabbled into Python. I bought books, and I really got intrigued by this whole computer science thing. Started my fashion tech journey, and here I am today. So now, what I'm doing is I'm working with Girls Who Code. I can officially say that now. The paperwork is filed. I work as an educator, a guest educator, and I support diverse learners here in New Orleans. And what I'm doing is teaching girls to code. So we're gonna have more details with that coming soon. I'm working with my friend, my sister, and her nonprofit with young girls, and we specifically want girls of color. We want specifically to show up in the tech space. I um, did a session with STEM NOLA this summer, and there was like a group of like extreme tech group, and there was just no girls in it. And it really put a fire underneath me, and I was like, you know what? I need to do something about this. This opportunity landed in my inbox, and I'm seizing the day with it. I'm really, really excited to bring you this when it comes to Fashion Tech Fridays. Hopefully, I'll be able to share more. Of course, when it comes to the high school, we can probably share some snippets of that with permissions of photography and stuff like that. But with the nonprofit section of us working with that nonprofit, we'll be able to share more detail and have more of the community involvement. But you'll still be able to get behind the dashboard, talk to me on Fashion Tech Fridays, and we'll be able to dive in. Now, these girls will be learning about fashion sustainability, and they'll be learning about coding and how they can pivot this as a skill set. These girls will receive a certification of completion. They'll be working on a project of their choice. We're going to complete this throughout the entire school year as a kind of like a pilot program, like a beta testing for girls here in New Orleans. It is immensely with how social media is propelled that these girls and boys and non-gender are interested in fashion. Self-expression is allowed in multiple capacities versus when I was coming up. So they have no idea the business behind fashion. So hence business of fashion. And I want to take what I'm doing in my own business as research. So I'm conducting research on the back end about fashion sustainability from a climate perspective with my business, and that's something I'm working on, as well as the business of transforming my business because, sometimes as entrepreneurs, we look from client to client and we're not planning out our business, our planning out our finances and how we're going to be able to propel the next 10 years of our business. We just think we're going to be that we never get old. And sometimes the work got old, wanting to work more within the community and make a direct impact versus working for corporate and having just a leverage of nation. And that's it. So what I'm trying to do here is just my community here in New Orleans be able to be a hub for these children, these girls, these young entrepreneurs can survive. And sometimes the entrepreneur thing doesn't work out. I'm as a civilian business, however, I do different. I would see patients. I would push people really wide industry, and it's really important for us to have, backing when you're using your hands and using your creative juices to flow your business. Sometimes that shit can stale and it gets stuck. And so, how can you really maintain your integrity of your business, the longevity of your business, if you are the actual business? And how, like hairstyles, they would insure their hands. If something happened to their hands, they can't work anymore initially. So they had a joke going around in my family, you got $1 million hands. You know, just think about if you're using your brain or you're using whatever you're using has become a total asset for you to propel no matter what you do. But how you can find ways to leverage that and ensure that. So if you're making money as a contract independent, a contractor, you might be making great money in the summer and be dead in the winter. How can you propel that? So also having a component of financial literacy as well. Um, I worked with Sequin. I'm a board member with Sequin, and it was really cool that they are transitioning to more AI generated. They're helping do some type of loan funding. I talked to the CEO, but they had some great tools that I remember that I want to share with the young people and the girls of like how they can propel their financial future. So if you learn how to make the money, you learn how to have a skill, how can you leverage that so where that skill is allowing you to afford the lifestyle that you want for generations to come? So that's the mission, right? I feel like you go to beauty school, and I was talking about this to my esthetician. We go to beauty school, they teach you how to pass a test. They're not teaching you about how to survive a business. So on Fashion Tech Fridays, we're going to have really in depth, dope conversations or really casual conversations about what's happening, what I got going on behind the scenes. I'm super excited. I call the club this the Fashion Tech Club. So the girls, we're going to meet it'll be probably like twice a month. And we'll do some virtual meetings too, as well. So I'm going to open that up to the community to see. We're partnering with the New Orleans Library to be able to have computers and technology as well as the school that I'm working with to have technology for these kids to be able to use, make sure they have a reliable source of transportation and internet. These are things that I'm thinking about as we branch off to partner with Girls That Code in New York. So I'm really, really excited. I talked to my cousin from Brooklyn yesterday. I was like, look, when I touch down, it's going to be lit. I'm so excited. I miss New York a lot. I haven't been there since COVID. Um, when I went and left New York, it was, as people say, it was pretty pretty dope. Now it's there's a lot of my friends and colleagues, they've moved. They've moved upstate. They moved to, you know, I don't know, Texas. So and then talk about fashion tech. Shout out to Morgan Devine. I actually went to her book signing with my friend who has the nonprofit that I'm working with. And I bought her book, Rewrite the Rules. And so I think I'm on chapter 6. And it's almost like an informal book club because I'm informing my friend who's extremely too busy to read, because I like to read. I'm reading that. And she had a AI like masterclass yesterday. And literally I'm getting out of school and I'm like, I gotta do this fucking masterclass. I do the masterclass and she's talking about Gemini and she's talking about Claude. I love Claude. So I personally don't have a subscription to any one of them yet because I'm budgeting and preparing for like, okay, if I buy Claude, do I need chat? Literally my thing is it's either chat GPT or Claude. I probably need both. But she was showing us things how to do things on Claude and how to do things on Gemini. I don't use Gemini as much, but I think that's gonna change, and so I'm gonna replay, take notes, and implement. My biggest thing is to get all of my projects and works that I've been working on for the past year, is to get them off of my save, storage, search, and chats, and put them in implementation mode. Because that's what I do. I'm an AI. I specialize in AI implementation. So I did that for viral companies that went on wellness companies that went on TikTok. Like I help them integrate their system prior to having all these AI agents. Now, I was the AI agent. I built an AI bot. I did a project called Gloria. I helped build an AI 24/7 bot where I trained it to answer all kind of questions about like physical, because it was an ingestible supplement. So, and you had some real trained responses that you couldn't play with. We got to work with a naturopath doctor. It was the whole thing. So I learned a lot about implementing these tools, but the workflow and automation is what I'm super interested in because people are talking about putting things on autopilot, but doing that sustainably. So I took her class yesterday and it was She is a wealth of information. I think Afrotech is the end of this month, so hopefully I get to go to that. I did sign up for the free ticket, so hopefully I win. I'll keep y'all posted. And what else? What else is happening? My other computer died, so let's see. Let's see if I can get to my notes on this one. People think I'm crazy because I pull out like two laptops, an iPad. It's whatever gets the work done. It's whatever gets the work done. Let's see. And I like sitting out here. I want to be inside. Oh, and I'm also in a book club. Shout out to Laid Off. I'm in the Laid Off group. Um, Melanie, she's amazing. I didn't have my laid off hat, but there's a book club that I'm in, and so I had to come pick up my library book. And I read it already, but it's The Financial Feminist with Tori Dunlap. And I love her content. I've read the book twice. I read it on Audible. I read the physical copy, but it's something about reading it with people and breaking it down chapter by chapter. So at the school that I work at, I am part of the financial literacy program. Like I'm helping facilitate by its director, working with the director to facilitate the program. She's a genius. And we discussed some of these things. And so I just add a little tidbit about certain things. Like for instance, I like listening to Yahoo Finance in the morning. I don't listen to mainstream news in the morning. I listen to Yahoo Finance. My favorite show is Morning Brew. My favorite show. So let's see. Let me get back on my email really quick. I also have to do some curriculum and lesson planning for the girls that code. So I got homework to do. I got homework to do. What is today? Friday. Friday is gonna be no, yeah, today's Friday. Yeah, I'll be working on all weekend. Hope so much to do. Anyway, what is I'm gonna start recording YouTube. I was supposed to go to the damn Gmail. Where's the Gmail? Let's see. So, if you're joining from the chat, let me know where you're lurking from. What are you up to? What industry you're in? What do you do? Are you a writer, creator, cool person, great human being? Let me know. Like you said, don't come into my house and don't speak. Girl, why can I get into the damn? I gotta verify shit. But anyway, oh, I had to pick this up. Oh, it feels so good outside. Yes, come in, fall, come in. So yeah, financial feminist. Oh, what's my password? I don't know. Oh man, shucks. Damn it. What's about that? I don't have my phone. Just a minute. Okay, I'll go to my. I'll do that. I'll do that with my pen. And I'm also reading. Uh, show you what I'm reading. I'm always reading something. I'm reading. I have to return this book, but Rich AF. This is a really good book. As you can see, I got my tabs. So I guess you say this is fashion tech and financial literacy. I'm not ready to return the book in. So they say I can't check it out no more. Girl, bye. Let me. Oh shucks. Man. Okay. No, I can't get in that one either. All right, y'all. I'm gonna have to end this live because I gotta get in this email. But anyway, um, this is Rich AF by Vivian Tu. The winning money mindset that will change your life. And so I specifically I got stickers in here. I specifically I'm gonna go give me some lunch. I'm getting hungry. What am I gonna eat today? Lord. How rich people think. So I'm on the chapter where she talks about the game Monopoly and how her friend figure out a way to always win. So I definitely want to dive in. I can't just read. I'm learning as I get older that I want to read shit like two, 3 times. Side hustles don't have to be passion projects. I take care of future me chapter, which is chapter 4. And I love how she just like breaks this down. So I'm still reading this. So I'm just gonna have to pay for it. Fuck it. It's cheaper than paying for the book. So and then this is another thing because I have a lovely nephew that I'm planning his financial future. And this says, "I wasn't born rich, but my kids will be." And so I like to look at books as like workbooks. And so I realized like reading it all the way through, you may not comprehend everything. So what I like to do is like she has like little sections that says like where do I invest? Where do I invest? Brokerage institutions that will help you buy and sell investments. What type of account? Like it breaks the shit down. So then this is like a chart of 101 of investing, right? Is it a brokerage? Is it self-direct? And then it lists some like self-directed is, Robinhood or Fidelity, robo investors is SoFi and Betterment. There's and then Ally Invest is also a robo investment. But yeah, so anyway, I just love actually I probably will be buying this book, but for right now, she will be rented. And then this is one I'm really excited about. So Frederica Brooksworth, this is a really good book. This is How to Become a Fashion Academic, a guide for anyone who wants to become a full-time or part-time fashion lecturer or professor. So low key, 2019, after I had spoke at the I think it's called the Laboratory of Merchandising in New York. It's called LIM. I spoke at LIM about the future of fashion. I'm actually going to talk about that too in a later post. Talking about all my shit that I did. But there was not a book. There was not a book. This should be at every college, every library. Like it should be everywhere. There's also a fashion historian one that I ordered for the library and they couldn't get it because it's self-published. No problem. I'm going to buy it. And I've actually spoke with her too. She's amazing. But what I love about here's Frederica in the back. And it says Frederica is an author, academic researcher. She's an executive director of the Council of International Fashion Education. And she has also a lecturer at the London College of Fashion. But she talks about like how to break into the industry. Like Black woman, like she's the head of the African Council. She tells you everything about your resume. Like these kids need to go read. Like websites, like okay, for instance, having industry experience is not enough. She says it's no secret that the landscape of fashion education have evolved significantly over the past 20 years. Fashion education sector had previously approached academia qualifications in a way that is different from other disciplines. There is there was indeed a time when industry experience alone could open doors and secure a teacher position at fashion schools. Facts. She says this comes down to the fact that typically the subject of fashion has traditionally been based on apprenticeships, shadowing people. Just talked about this. Hands-on experience. For this very reason, fashion institutions have valued professional experience highly, and in some aspects deemed it more important than having academic qualifications to support. So, experts with careers in fashion communications, textiles, we're going to be diving into textiles, or even buying, that was a big buzzword, were sought after for the first-hand experience and practical insights into the industry. The reason for this is apparent. Those who have successfully navigated the complexities of the fashion industry themselves are most suited to impart in the necessary knowledge and skill to inspiring fashion professionals. I just talked about this with one of my colleagues. A lot of teachers, and I'm just talking about like grade level, let's say elementary school, middle school, high school, K through 12, they may have not done anything but teach. They have not left the classroom. They have not become the scientists that they're talking about science. They have not been working in a law office and then turned to a math teacher. And now you have the revert of professionals going into teaching and vice versa. This is so true. So when you go to community colleges, a lot of people who work at community colleges have professional corporate experience. You can't sit here and tell me, I'm not saying I can't learn from you, but you can't sit here and tell me about the corporate world when you have never set foot outside your classroom. You really don't have that hands-on practical ability to understand completely, right? Not to say you can't share from other testimonies, but a lot of kids relate to me in the classroom when I get to go in the classroom in some capacity because they feel like I have hands-on experience. If there's a little girl that wants to work in fashion, she's like, "Oh, Miss Coleman, you worked at X, Y, and Z. You work with this is a brand. I can tell you, I love to storytell. Storytells allow me to teach in a way that's relatable to these kids that are connecting through only visuals and not practical applications, not practical experience, hands-on experience. Because a lot of that stuff is going away because they have remote positions. They could work for a brand, let's say like Everjay. Everjay is based in Miami. It's a intimate line. Love the brand, by the way. Um, you could work in Nashville, never see anything but a picture, a mock-up design, and a damn Canva presentation of Everjay's Google Sheets, and you're part of the brand, right? You've never touched the fabric, you've never got a sample yet, but now you're working on their marketing campaigns, you're working on their social media presence, right? You're planning their content strategy, and you're going based off their competitors. You don't have hands-on experience in the intimate. You have not fit one woman with any type of augmentation, breast cancer, anything. I've worked in intimates for the last 10 years of my fashion career. So now I don't have to measure anybody's breast anymore, right? But I can still speak to that industry. That is the power. So she goes, however, not only has the fashion industry become even more complex, but globalization has also made a significant impact. There we go with the sustainability component. It's also worth noting that, and I love the way she writes too. It's also worth noting that many fashion departments sit within institutions that cater to many different disciplines. So the prerequisites for becoming a fashion academic have had to change to keep in line with the industry standards and ethics. I'm, this woman is giving you so much game. I had to learn. Thank God I was blessed not to leave New Orleans, but I traveled often. My second home was New York, that's why I miss it so much. You really had to just be thrown into an opportunity. Now there's technically, I wanna say more opportunity, but there's more competition. And so what sets you apart is having that balance. And some things work differently because of the nature of the business. There's fast fashion now that's you can put on a Shein outfit that costs $2 and, you know and win a campaign versus someone else who is more inspiring. It doesn't have the capabilities or the look to win that campaign. And now they're being bumped up besides the media people, the people who work behind the scenes in fashion to actually build the campaign. She says, as mentioned earlier, the fashion ecosystem has become more intricate. Technological advancements, shifts in consumer behavior, and a strong focus on sustainability are some factors to consider. These micro influences have elevated the value of academic qualifications, making them not just complementary, but often an alternative to traditional industry experience. At this point, I think it's worth noting there are three additional factors, as well as the industry tendency to change and constitute the primary reason for why experience alone won't cut it. So I'll give you the three. This is so good. Okay. Theory, research, yes, and pedology. Pediology is a crucial concept of higher education. So this is something that I think that's interesting to note. This is great because it allows you to function the link between theory and practice, making sure that students learn research skills, which is so big. You learn a lot of that when you do a PhD program. I left my PhD program, but I thought it was really cool that you could do that. And then it said deep comprehension. Oh Lord, a lot of kids don't have that of workings of business and additional and technical knowledge. Uh-oh. My sister sent me something. By using your creativity, students can come up with fresh ideas and implement state-of-the-art teaching methods and express unique perspectives on essential matters, as well as the essence of educational process. Listen, I think this book was $20. So as I'm building a unique curriculum, because of course the coding has its own curriculum and it's genius. I love that. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to play data scientist. I don't do none of that. This is where I'm going to start building the curriculum for the Fashion Tech Club. So if you guys are interested, please go on my Stand Store below, sign up for my free digital resource, sign up to be part of the community, part of the Maven Creators Club. We're building here. I am all about quality, not quantity. Honey, I like my peace. Yes. Okay. I am going to run off of here. Love Jackie. Jackie does these lives. I usually just attend like everybody else, but I was just talking about my Maven Creators Club. Thank you for the love. Then we're gonna chat. I'm out of school this week, so I'm working on all the things. My financial literacy, my fashion tech club for the girls. I'm teaching those young girls how to code. So I'm working on the fashion sustainable curriculum. Okay, girl, I'll call me when you finish. Okay, I sure will. Um, so I am here at my beautiful library. It's about to rain on my ass, but I'm gonna get me a little something to eat and I'm gonna do my homework. I'm in a book club, financial feminist. So we're gonna teach these girls fashion sustainability, financial literacy, and we're gonna teach them how to code. So when they leave the city of NOLA, baby, it, and they should, okay, they will be able to survive. And that's my mission. I said, I want to help the little Satis of the world. And that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm very blessed and hate and grateful. So I'm going to charge my computer. I'm going to get me something to eat. And then I'm going to call Jackie because I don't think they got food around here. Child, they used to have a cafe in this library, but I ain't got shit. So, Jackie, let me know a good time to call you. I got to get a break today too, girl. So let me know what time works for you. I will text you because I have your number. I will text you a great time so I'll be clear, fed, and have a good break test so but the people don't stop me. You know what I mean? Thank you guys so much for joining me for my Fashion Tech Friday. I'm usually never off on a Friday, but baby, that's gonna change here. Take care. Be better for me because I'd have been 8 and handled my business.